What up, guys? And Kenny here, and back in another video today. So today I'm just going to be showing you guys some replays from my battles on top 800. And we're just going to be using Ice Bow. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys like and subscribe, and let's get started. So we're up against this guy from Global Stars. As you guys can see, it looks like he's running some kind of Canon Cart's Goldenknight Golem deck, but at this point in time I didn't really know what he was running. So starting plays with this deck, I like to go Ice Wizard, Skeleton's Log to start off, and if I have Rock in hand, I like to go Tesla up high or Valkyrie in the back. And right there I went Expo in the middle because I don't want to play any cards into his Cannon Cart because I'd just be feeding him value. So in this point in time, I just cycle a Valkyrie in the back just because his Cannon Cart was out of hand, and it wouldn't make any sense to cycle a Tesla, especially if I don't know what he's playing. And since my Expo's out of hand, there'd be no point in doing that. So right here, I see a Goldenknight, and my immediate thoughts were I'm probably screwed because he has Cannon Cart and Goldenknight in the same deck, which are both really, really horrible cards to face when you're playing Expo in general. But since he cycles Goldenknight there, I decided to go Expo opposite lane because his Cannon Cart was out of hand. And even though this isn't going to get a lock, it's pretty good because I forced out his Goldenknight out of hand and his Golem's out of hand as well. So if we get an Expo in rotation, it's going to be easier to get a lock. So right here, I'm just being a little bit more patient in my cycling. I'm just slowly chipping him out. I'm not being aggressive in my playstyle because even if you're a little bit aggressive, especially in single, that can quite easily cost you the game. So yeah, right there I just cycle an Expo and try to predict his Cannon Cart on my Expo. And this situation is pretty good. Even though we didn't really get a lock, we still forced out his best counters to our Expo, and we got a small lock in return. So as you guys can see, we do go in with an Expo again, and this time we got a lock. For some reason he wasn't able to react in time to my Expo, and I think that Valkyrie was a mistake on my end, just because of the simple fact that his Cannon Cart's still full health. I probably should have delayed a bit and waited for his Cannon Cart to lock on my Expo. In this situation, I go NATO back, and I go late Tesla for his baby dragon to clean up. And right here, it looks like it's almost impossible to come back, but as you guys can see, we defend this pretty cleanly. So right here, notice how I'm delaying on my defense a bit, just to see if he's going to play anything else, just so I could defend better. That's usually how you want to play Ice Bow, guys. You kind of want to play reactively rather than just playing cards in general. So right here, he cycled Goldenknight, another counter to your Expo. So I decided to go in there, and I NATO'd it back. I'm not sure why he cycled that Cannon Cart in the back. I mean, he's a Golem player, and they usually don't really have much of a brain, so that probably explains it. And GG. Next game, we're up against 3M. So 3M Goldenknight Mirror. It's probably one of the worst matchups you can ever face with Ice Bow in this current meta, just because Goldenknight just tanks so much for your Expo to the point where they can just stall, and your Expo is basically meaningless. And also, it can just get random dashes on your tower when you least expect it. So that's why Goldenknight's such a bad matchup for Expo decks in general. So right here, since I had Rock in hand, it was safe to go Valkyrie in the back. I usually don't like going Valkyrie in the back if I don't have Rocket, because if they have Expo, you literally instantly lose. So I like to have that Rocket as a crutch. And as you guys can see there, the Goldenknight got like really weird dash and got so much value out of me. I choose to rocket his first pump. Even though this is a -1 trade, I felt like he had mirror in this instance, and I wanted him to play his mirror pump, so I can go in. And right there, he chose to play his mirror pump, so I chose to go in to punish him. And notice this delay in my skeletons. I'm not just randomly predicting with skeletons. I'm just waiting for him to drop something. And right there, I'm making sure to protect my expo because I know this is probably like this could be the most damage I can get all game. So luckily there we managed to get like basically his whole tower. I chose to activate King in this instance because King Tower later on the match is really gonna help you a lot when it seems like they're overwhelming you with pumps, E-barbs, and different units in general. Alright, so in this instance, he has 3 pumps down. So what I don't want to do is rocket any of his pumps, like at all. Because if you do that, you're basically feeding him 7 elixir. So what I choose to do here, and what a lot of Expo players that I've watched do, is basically play defense in that exact instance to try to get like a positive elixir trade from their defense. Or at least hold on from their defense. Because if you go Expo to try to punish or just rocket or spell their pumps at all for any reason, you just lose because you're feeding them elixir. So right here, I tested low because I knew he was trying to 3M there. And I don't defend that bandit at all because I knew he had like a huge elixir advantage over me. So I should have played my Ice Wizard on the side closest to King, just so the King Tower could help out. And right here, we're just sweating this defense. And if we didn't get that King activation early on in the game, we probably would have lost our tower at this point in time. But luckily, we somehow managed to defend. That Goldenknight almost got a connection. I was a little bit scared there. So important tip to know is the Goldenknight dashes and basically wherever he's seeing in like a 100-degree radius according to Max. So pretty good game so far, and all we need is just to rocket so far, and GG. We're up against Grow Wiser from 2 Easy Clan. I didn't really know he was a really good Pekka player until like after the match, which I was kind of surprised based on his gameplay. You guys will see in a moment. So cycle an Ice Wizard in the back because that's a pretty safe play. And he goes Pekka in the back immediately. So it's not the worst play by him, but it was just kind of weird in my opinion. So right here, usually whenever they go Pekka in the back, I like to go Expo opposite lane in this position. To where if they go Zap, my Expo is able to target on whatever they're using to attack. So as you guys can see here, I'm probably just going to have to let that Battle Ram go. And since that Magic Archer is not going to be able to take my tower, I just let it go into the tower. Just for some elixir. So right here, I'm kind of in a weird spot. I can't just wait to get a King activation because I'd be leaking. So I just cycle Tesla in the middle. Really, really good Pekka players will catch you in that situation, hoping you'll try to get that King activation. But luckily I didn't fall for that trap. And right here I go for a King activation on his bandit instead. And that worked out a lot better. So he goes for Magic Archer and he goes Battle Ram low. And I just go Ice Wizard on the side to kind of snipe his Magic Archer. So in this point in time, I'm just feeling good because I have the damage lead and the King activation. So those skeletons were probably like a misplay on my end, now that I really think about it. And Look, that was a really good Pekka because I'm forced to play a Valkyrie right into his Pekka. And there, I choose to lightly defend my Expo, because if I chose to heavily defend it, he would have been able to push all the way on the side of his Pekka. So really nicely played by the opponent. Notice how I went Valkyrie high up. Even though his magic archer got really nice geometry there, we were still able to clean up nicely. So really pay attention to this defense, guys. I didn't want even like a lick of bandit hits going to my tower, just because of how close Pekka matches tend to get. So in this Pekka matchup, what you want to do is try to play really passive in single and see if you can get a king activation, because later on in the match, it's really going to help out a lot. So I go for a really bad Tesla here. Bad in the sense where the Pekka actually pushed it out of range, so I had to go for a NATO. And I go for a Valkyrie on his magic archer just to finish it off so it doesn't get value. So far so good. Not too many major mistakes made here. And my first mistake was these bad skeletons here. I should have placed it closer to my Tesla to where the bandit could have kited. I really don't know what I was thinking there. So here I go defensive Expo on my weaker side tower. So usually you don't really want to do this play, but right here, since he went Pekka on the opposite side, I don't want to go defensive Expo in the same lane as his Pekka, just because my defensive Expo wouldn't get any value at all. And really pay attention to this defense, guys. Look at the intricacy in my placements. Notice how I'm playing really passive. I know I sound really nerdy, guys, but come on. Look at how reactive I'm playing rather than just randomly cycling cards for no reason. That's what you guys have to try to do when you're playing Icebow. So in this point in time, I got kind of scared because I didn't know how I was going to defend both sides. And look, the battle ram somehow got pushed to my tower. And I wasn't really paying attention to the other side either, and the Pekka did as well. So just like that, he caught up in damage, so I have to be very careful here not to give him any kind of magic archer value. Really nicely played Ice Wizard on my end, and that NATO to prevent his magic archer from getting a hit. And we somehow pulled off a win against a pretty good Pekka player. We're up against Massey from Star Squad. So again, I like going log first play. So right here, once I hit 10 elixir, I go in for log, just for some chip damage. And he did a really nice Expo first play. So I don't really recommend you guys going Expo first play. It's only really good against like Expo decks in general. Right here, I just recognize I'm really low in elixir, so I just take those knight hits and defend the queen right away. And right here, I get a lucky interaction here and end up pushing the queen to retarget onto my Valkyrie. So right here, I recognize his knight and his queen are out of cycle, so I go in. But unfortunately, we weren't able to catch the Tesla in time. And this matchup, I kind of thought it was like around 70-30. But I spoke to Aragon, and he mentioned to me that it was only like a slight matchup, which I can probably agree, because once you get to triple elixir, Icebow kind of has the upper hand there. So right here, I just kind of take that because I don't want to cycle a Valkyrie. And I do a really weird Tesla placement here. What this Tesla placement is going to do, it's going to activate my Tesla. And it's going to actually allow my Tesla to take care of his queen. I go Valkyrie in the back, recognizing does he have Expo in hand. And immediately I go defensive Expo in the middle in the anti-fireball position. So right here, since it's getting to double elixir, the goal is basically to get as many defensive Expos as I can. and try to chip his tower somehow. So as long as I'm not down like more than 1,500 damage, it's possible to come back, especially against Queenbow. So right here, I knew he was gonna Knight, so I rocket right away. And I basically go Expo to punish him opposite lane because he cycled his queen in the middle. So against queen decks, if they cycle their queen in the back or in the middle, what you want to do is you want to punish opposite lane with an Expo. And they're not going to have enough elixir defense. So right here was like the perfect example. So I get a little bit greedy here, so I go in for another Expo. Now that I really think about it, it wasn't the best Expo, but we still managed to get like a lot of damage. So I'm not really too mad about that, honestly. I go for a Tesla here in the middle to catch his queen. And those skeletons were probably bad now that I really think about it. Because I didn't really need them. So instead of going Valkyrie low, I just go Ice Wizard first. So I can hit the queen and the knight at the same time with my Valkyrie. Another reason why the Valkyrie is better than the knight right now, in my opinion. And I'd say the biggest weakness with Queenbow that I can really think about is that against other Expo decks, you're forced in a weird cycle to where if they go defensive Expo, you're not able to win the bridge battles. So that's probably the only reason why like Queenbow doesn't do too great against some other Expo variants, in my opinion. So right here, what I'm basically trying to do is get as much value from my defensive Expo as possible. I'm trying to take care of his Expo while also taking care of his other units as well, and stalling him from getting a lock. So that's the goal here. Let's go test. So we went Tesla in the middle there because just to kind of tank some hits from his Expo. And if he was a little bit better, we probably would have lost the game there, but usually Queenbow users aren't good, so I just rocket, log, and GG. Okay, so a lot of you guys wanted a replay against Lavahound, so I managed to get one for you guys. And we're up against this guy. I'm not sure what kind of characters those are, so I don't really want to assume because I don't want to offend anyone, but yeah. He went with a minor first place, so this is a very interesting situation since they don't have lava in hand. And what I do here is I go Valkyrie in the back, but I should have played it behind my king in hindsight. So right off the bat, I kind of recognize what deck I'm playing. I know which variant of lava that I'm up against. So what I do here is pretty matchup specific. I cycle my Ice Wizard behind my king rather than in the corner, just because he's forced to play a minor onto my Ice Wizard, right? And if he does, I'm able to get a king activation. And I kind of went Expo opposite lane because I knew his counters were out of hand, so that was the perfect opportunity there. So right here, I don't activate king because I knew Tesla would kill it, so it would have just been a waste. And this is probably like the best situation you could ever ask for against Lavahound. So what I do here is I go Valkyrie in the back. I don't like going Valkyrie in the back if I don't have skeletons in hand, just because they're just getting like a free trade for no reason. So right here, I choose to try to snipe his Inferno Dragon. But I kind of made the mistake of not playing it high enough. So yeah. So again, I rinse and repeat and play my Ice Wizard behind my king. And I actually play my Valkyrie at the bridge just so he's not able to spam the left lane as freely as he wants to. I probably should have played like a Rocket NATO there in hindsight. And that log was probably like one of my biggest mistakes as well. I probably should have played my Ice Wizard on top. So that actually cost me like, probably almost cost me the game, honestly. So right now I recognize that this game's getting close. If I don't really act fast, I'm probably gonna lose. So I just pressure right away with the Valkyrie, just to kind of force cards out, and I go Expo right away. And it's always important to have skeletons in hand when you go Expo against like the Inferno Dragon variants of Lavahound, just because of the simple fact that Inferno Tower is just gonna get a lot of value if you don't have something to like take care of it or stall it for a significant amount of time. And right here, instead of just trying to activate King, I just go in for an aggressive Expo, recognizing he was low in elixir. I didn't even want to log that miner, so I choose to rocket his tower just because I was in 2 rocket range. And right here I go for an Ice Wizard on his left side. Skeletons, I go Valkyrie at the bridge to pressure again. I knew he's probably going to try to base race me, so I predict his miner in the back with a NATO. And this won me the game. Okay, last match. We're up against Dark Pablo against Dark Alliance. So I've lost to this guy many times. So this is probably one of the worst matchups you can ever face with Ice Bow. Probably one of the only 90-10s you can face with Ice Bow. Actually, that's a lie. But this is just a matchup you don't want to face at all because it's almost a guaranteed loss. Now that I don't have Ice Wizard for his Nightwitch, I opt to wait for his Giant to walk up so I can hit a rocket on both his Nightwitch and his Giant. So right here, I'm low in elixir, so my only choice to defend this is to just go Valkyrie and then late log. So obviously not the best defense, but we didn't lose our towers, so that's the only good thing here. So I know he has bats in hand, so what I do is I ready up my Ice Wizard so I can force out a bowler and hopefully get a King Tower activation. So the best way, in my opinion, to get a King activation against a bowler is you have to play your Tesla right next to your tower like this. And you have to wait for the bowler to walk up. And then you just NATO the bowler down. And that's the best way to activate King against bowler when playing Ice Bow. So even though we did take like so much damage there, we're still able to win the game because we have something called Rocket Cycle. So right here I was a little scared because I didn't really want to NATO that back, and that was like my best option. So I just choose not to, and I try to be fancy in prediction NATO on the side of my Valkyrie. But we still managed to get so much damage there, so I didn't really want to complain. So what I do here is try to force him to not go Giant Graveyard on the right side. So I go Expo opposite lane to force his Giant out. And it also forced out his bowler, so I got really lucky there. So right here, we did a pretty early log to kind of stop his skeletons. And it turned out pretty okay. So instead of actually defending that bowler, I just go in for a rocket on his tower, just to kind of save elixir. And the goal here that I'm trying to do in this point in time is to basically stop all giants or units from crossing the bridge. So what I do is Ice Wizard high and then NATO this back, so he's not able to get a good tankage for his graveyard skeletons. And now that he cycled his bowler that lane, you guys already know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go Expo opposite lane. And again, this is gonna force cards out. So even though I didn't hit those that scar me right there, it's still gonna get quite a bit of work done with chip damage on his tower, just to help me catch up in the damage that I'm lacking. And look at how much damage that we prevented with the King Tower activation, guys. So if you guys can activate with King, you guys should, in my opinion. So we go in for another rocket, and instead of going for a NATO because we need our NATO for his giant, we just go for a log. just to chip the tower and to also kill the Skarmy, I NATO back the Giant and I bridge block with the Tesla. I don't do this much in Giant Graveyard matches because once they expect it, they can punish you for it, and we go for Rocket Lock to finish off the game. If you guys stayed this far into the video, make sure you guys drop an ice emoji down below.